Welcome to TopSolid 7. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to some more features of the upcoming TopSolid 7.6. Here we're going to take a quick sample at Tombstone style machining. Let's get started. To begin with, I'm going to go ahead and create a new machining document. Now I could have chosen a template to speed things up, but being that the nature of all of my videos are to educate people how to use TopSolid 7, I'm going to start truly from scratch. And I'll call this demo machining, why not? So the first thing we'll do is we'll come in here and we're going to go ahead and select the machine we're looking for. Now, one of the differences between TopSolid 7.5 and 7.6 is they've made it a lot easier to filter through all of your various machines. You can search through your libraries, all just what's in your working project, what have you. Just the universal machines, meaning no machine definition, just simple machine controls. But we'll look through the libraries. And for example, let's pull this over to here. I'm going to scroll down until I find what I want. And you know what? Maybe that's what I want. But I'm not sure, so I'm going to use the new TopSolid 7 Live Preview feature. And again, this is a feature of 7.6. I can either left click on this icon here, or just middle mouse button click anywhere in the document, and here I can zoom, rotate, and pan and make sure that this is the machine I want. If not, I can just click right along and go continue looking at each of these machines. And this is a really cool feature. This way you can be sure that you're loading exactly the template that you want. Now in my case I do want the C300, so I'm just going to select that and validate. Now our machine is loaded. We can zoom back out, take a look. The next thing I want to do is I want to add this tombstone and fixture to my machine. So let's do that first. What I'm going to do is switch to the CAD context and modeling stage, and I'm going to go ahead and just include this into my design. And I can do it just by drag and drop. I'm going to hit the X there, and now I'm going to go ahead and take that bottom face there, pop it onto that face. And now, because I wanted to make this faster, I actually have a little hole here just for positioning's sake, because on my table I have a cylinder that I can work to. And then I'm going to go from here to there. Notice the part's blue, that means positioning is complete. And like that, I'm going to switch back to CAM and machining stage. From here, I'm going to load my part to cut. And that's going to be this part right here. And you can see that I already have the stock predefined around my part. I did this in an earlier video. Be sure to check that out. So what we'll do is come back to the CAM document, take this file here, and drag and drop it into here. And now I'm going to go ahead and validate. And now we just need to position this. So I'm going to take that bottom face there to this face. How about if we take this face to this face? Looks good to me. Maybe we want to offset this by a ½ inch. Oops, that's the wrong plane. Sorry. Set that back to 0. This is the one we want by ½ inch, and we don't want to go up, so I'll double click that to invert it. We want to go down. And then maybe we'll take this face here right up against there. That looks good to me. Like that, I can go ahead and position. Perfect. So now that our part is positioned, we can just go ahead and start machining. So I'll hit save once, and let's start machining. I'm going to select this face here, and I'm going to start by inserting an end milling. Maybe I'll hide the project manager right now because we don't need that. First thing I need to do is pick a tool. I'm going to go through my library of face mills. So I find the one I want. That's the one I want. Perfect. I'm going to validate. Here you can see the tool path. In this case, if I bring this over, you're going to see I'm going to go right to 0. Let me turn off the tool so it's not bugging us. Everything else I'm going to say is okay. Check our speeds and feeds. Maybe we want to run this at 3000 RPM, and how about a 10,000th chip load? Perfect. And how about jet coolant? We'll validate. Like that. Our tool path is now on there. We're going to see the initial simulation. And we faced off the part. Beautiful. So far, so good. Now, next maybe what I want to do is machine this face here. So I'm going to go do an end milling again. Now in this case it's going to think that it wants to reuse that same tool that I did before, and I could, but that doesn't really make much sense. So what I'm going to do is switch to maybe a 1/2 inch end mill. Maybe here we'll just go ahead and make one on the fly, just to show you how easy that is. So I'll say 1/2 inch tool. I'm going to say it has 1.5 inches of flute length. Maybe it's 3.5 inches long. Let's go into advanced really quick and say it's 4 flute, coated carbide. We can go ahead and plunge with that. Maybe the extension holder is 875. Nah, let's make it 1 inch. And make that as well 1.5 inch extension. And then we can go to tool assembly if we want, and we can play with how far the tool is chucked out. So what I'm going to do is say make it 1 5/8 inches. Let's rotate this. That looks perfect. We'll validate. Let it update here. Now to begin with, it wants to rough this material, but it's doing it via open pocketing. Well, I want it to look at everywhere at this Z level, so I'm going to just come up here to my quick settings balloon and change this to be a facing. And then watch what happens. Now it's getting everything. Awesome. But here's another thing I want to do. I want to leave maybe 10 thousandths on the floor, 10 thousandths on the wall. Maybe we'll take a maximum axial depth of 1/8. We'll set that to 0. So that's looking pretty good. Let's turn off our tool. Let's go into our main settings. Let's do a couple of other things. I'm going to say that I only want a 40% engagement of the cutter, wherever possible. So there we can see a difference. And if we look in here, we can see that it's roughing, but it's roughing based on the outer profile, and I'd really like it to rough up these angular faces as well. So what I'm going to do is come down to here and tell it to fit the tool path. And this is going to take and cut a section at every Z depth of cut. And now you can see it's roughing down that profile. And again, this is just still a 2-axis facing operation for TopSolid. Let's validate. And away we go. And here we see the stock simulation, or pardon me, the simulation of the toolpath. If I rotate my view so we can see this a little bit better, you can see that the stock is even up to date. Very cool. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to show on this sample is I'm going to make a pattern of all of this, because maybe that's as far as we're taking this, at least for this sample, that's as far as we're taking this. So what I'm going to do is I'll go up to additional here, to operation, and I'm going to go to repetition. And now what I'd like to do is repeat this part. Perfect. Okay? I can choose it graphically. I can come up here and choose it from the list. Why not? I can remove that. I can repeat just a facing. Cool. Don't have to repeat everything. But I want to do the whole project. And do I want to finish one part and then rotate, or do I want to go operation by operation? So let's do that. As far as the pattern is concerned, you can see we offer a great deal of varieties of patterns. This one is going to be a simple circular pattern. It will be about the absolute y-axis. That's perfect. We'll validate, and we will validate. And now here, TopSolid 7 is going to go to work for you, do the pattern, and update everything. Okay, there we go. Like that, we see everything is up to date. We see facing, 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 facing. That looks nice. So if we want, we can go ahead and start running the simulation of this. We're on the machine. If we go here, whoops, I forgot to add that to the kinematic of our machine. We can go back and do that in a sec. Actually, let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to come out of here, hit save. I'm going to come back to modeling stage, and what I have to do is go into our mechanism, into our groups, find our table, and I'm just going to scroll down until I find it. That's the table, so that's group 15. I got to find out where my assembly is. That's in there. So all I have to do is take my Tombstone and put it in group 15. Perfect. I'm going to come back to here, back to machining, and now if I come into here and simulate, all is good. All is perfect. Okay, I'm going to kick out of this real quick just to show you one more cool feature. I'm going to come into Verify, and we're going to go ahead and ensure, before we go into Verify, that everything is checked here, which it is. Perfect. Let's go ahead and hit play. And now what you're going to see is it's going to go into our material removal mode, and it's going to load our tombstone, our fixtures, and all 4 parts so that we can run the real-time simulation. So let's hit play, and you can see, by the way, as everything is updating, you can rotate, pan, zoom, you can take a good look at everything no matter what. There we go. Now we're roughing in over here. Very nice. So again, hopefully this gives you a nice feeling over the things to come within TopSolid 7.6. Again, this version is coming very, very soon. We expect to release it within a few weeks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek.